Hiya guys, you alright? My name is Emmy. Some of you will know who I am. I'm John's daughter, and every time I'm home I like to come in to the workshop and say hello. I'm just getting soaked in a lovely British rainstorm. We've got some thunder going on outside, so if you hear any funny noises, it's thunder and lightning out there. Just back from a little trip to Amsterdam for my friend's birthday, so thought I'd take the opportunity to pop in and say hello. In the workshop I've got his new pulley system, which he's really pleased about. I don't know if he's shown you that yet, but I'm sure that he will. Just as always, thank you very much for your support of the show. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and like the video. I know my dad's got a lot to show you on this week's Sunday night nightcap, so I hope you enjoy all of that, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
2 or 3 weeks ago, my friend Bob was up here and he brought back the Stuart tuner engine, and we did a little bit of video showing some of the faults on it. Bob took it away home again, and he's come back tonight with the engine and he's rectified all the faults, and he assures me it runs really nice. So Bob's going to come in, we're going to have a load at it and see if we can make it run. How are you, Bob?
I'm John.
How we doing, mate?
You're alright.
Your bench is all ready for you there?
Oh, champion.
I'll bring the camera in and we'll have a start.
We'll have a start. Look, what we diagnosed, or what I diagnosed, what the problem was the valve. Totally made wrong, holding on in the right place and everything else, so I made a new valve. It's made of bearing bronze, extremely hard wearing, be better than cast iron really. So tonight we're going to put it all back together again, and hopefully it should be running. So the first thing to do is to put the valve back into the valve chest. I've made new joints for top and bottom on the engine, because it didn't have any in. It was just somebody just coated it all with grease. Well, John, down in his camera, you've got lock nuts, top and bottom. That's what retains the valve into the valve chest. Now, what you need to do when you set these up, of course it's going to be awkward for us, is you have what is known as a rattle fit. It's not tight, you don't tighten it up so it's tight. It needs to have a bit of movement in it. Bear in mind you're talking about live steam, which is extremely hot, and the metal will expand and contract and everything else. So we'll put that on there, hopefully. Then the next thing to go on is the concentrics. Now for the concentrics is the Stevenson link, which connects onto this, which actually moves the valve. Turn on John's engine. So imagine the links is on there, and it moves the valve up and down, opening and closing them ports. Right, so we're going to put these on. Now these are like hiss and sid, they go anywhere but where you want them to go. Now lucky for me, or John, or whoever built this, marked it all up. So you've got index marks on the straps. So get that on there. So, see what I mean? Just hiss and sid. As soon as you get a camera involved, it doesn't want to play it. Just that on there. So, this is the guide. All these nuts and bolts, what's in here, I've cleaned them and checked them, and goes into there. Put it in the hole. Fine pew. Right. Oh. Got my little box of BS spanners. say, what do you want spanners for? Well, we'll find Z-nut. It's in there somewhere. There it is. But before, this is just me. This is thread lock. We use it at work. You just need, it's just my way of belt and braces, because once it's running you don't want anything to be coming undone, because if it comes undone while it's running it can cause damage, obviously. Now the proper way would be to double lock nut it and all that sort of stuff, but I'm only putting it back the way the guy who built it put it back. Right. Next thing to go on is the mounting brackets for the lever, the Stevenson link. The brackets on, the mounting brackets for the Stevenson link. I've put thread lock on. Some people say, oh well, they didn't use thread lock, but I like using thread lock for two reasons. One, it's going to stop the nut from coming undone, but two, it acts as a barrier to stop the nut or the threads from corroding. So it all helps, not necessarily me or John, but whoever, because we're just custodians of these things. I mean, there's thousands, well, hundreds of hours goes into making one of these engines, and what I suspect is the man or the person who started to build this, he either, because of ill health or fortunately passed away, the engine's been sold on to somebody else, and because the valve, the machining on the valve, on the original valve, it doesn't match the rest of the engine. The rest of the engine in the machine on it is absolutely fantastic. Well, some people will be saying, why have I done that? Well, the thing is, the port, the valve in there, it opens and closes the ports. Oh, we'll be putting thread lock on these. Not yet, because I just want to get the valve timing or the valve port timing in the right place. It's all fiddling. Thank you very much, John.
There you go, mate.
Service with us. Oh, I'll tell John, I've changed a lot of nuts because they had like damage on them, like they hadn't been using the right spanner, so they took the corners off the nuts, and that's one of my pet hates. So I've changed it. They're the right size, they're the right type. But just like the cylinder head on the car, you don't use the same bolts, you put new ones in. Right, now then, they're tight. I've got to get that valve. The significant part is, which was wrong on this one, is you need to get the valve on equal, so it's opening both ports evenly. So there's not one bigger than the other. It's all done by mirrors and looking at it, and let me get my head out the way. Right, I'm quite happy with that. Now you don't tighten this up. It needs to be a rattle fit, because as I say, it's lifestyle. It's going to expand, it's going to contract. If it's too tight, it won't do its job. So you want a rattle fit, but not too slack. Now I've got two spanners. Now they're all old spanners, and I've ground them down so we can get them in. So I can tighten the valve up. Look, it's moved. See if it's still. You've got to have patience. You don't have patience, you'll not get where you want to be. Some people say, I don't have patience, but spend hours and hours on video games. I think, well, you need patience for those as well as you need anything else. Slack wobbly fit. Tighten them lock nuts up, but it needs to be a rattle. Now people say, but the valve chest isn't tightened up, so it won't be rattling that much. But you need clearance, because when the steam goes through, it'll expand. So the gap from the top and the bottom is both equal.
So there's only the pressure of the steam that seals the valve on the face?
Yep.
Yeah.
And obviously you'll have the oil which goes into the steam chest with the lubricator. And steam oil, as you know, is very, very sticky. So I won't put the lock nuts on these yet. I just want things so it runs, if you can understand what I mean. Right, I made a joint. John, I call them gaskets, John calls them joints, for the front face. It's all important. Where's your steam oil, John? You don't need a lot. And then again, I don't want to over oil it, because if it has to come apart again, we'll be swimming in, I think that was the top. That's it.
It's a really good fit, isn't it?
Oh. Get a sip of my coffee. Right, we'll put the linkage on for the Stevenson link. I'm jumping ahead. the little jam nuts. Then I wanted to keep them separate.
Are the old beer threads, Bob?
Yeah, all beer. The only ones what's not is the larger ones.
Or are they a BSF?
Whitworth, I think.
Whitworth, yeah.
As BA only goes to 0, not OBA, which
6 mil up. 6 mil?
somewhere definitely.
Yeah. So what are they, 4 beer?
2 BA.
2 beer.
As I said, there was only the one in there that I had to plug.
That was the stud had pulled out, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like a lot of engines, there's only a limited amount that actually goes in. So what can happen is they tighten, but they're not actually tightening the nut, they're tightening the whole lot, so it's like the stud,
yeah,
and it just pulls the thread out. Now, again, when I put it together, I've thread locked. I've put thread lock on them.
Into the block.
Into the block, yeah. Just normal thread lock, so it won't. They'll won't if you double lock nut it. You know what I mean by double lock nut. You put another nut on.
They'll unscrew.
And it'll unscrew. It's proper stuff. Same as way you do with the cylinder head, you don't, well I don't anyway, I always go across. Just an original nip up.
So what did you do with regard to piston rings, Bob? Was I didn't get any cast rings? What did you put in there?
I used, we use exotic stuff at work. It's a bearing grade nylon, plastic, whatever you want to call it. We use it on, you all know where I work in a press shop, and we go out in rounds, we go out in squares, and on some of the feeders, for the feeding the sheet steel into the press, you have what we call slippers, and we use this. Sometimes it's just a round in a piece of metal. So if you imagine that's a block and there's a piece of that in, so when the plate goes over the top, it's not riding on the metal. It helps feed the plate into the press. So it's designed, and apparently it's up to 1000 degrees C and all that sort of stuff, but at the end of the day, what I say, if it runs and you want proper piston rings, well, you can always get them at a later date and put them in, but it won't hurt it any.
No.
It'll
just be on wet steam anyway, and it won't be used that much. It's just an ornament really, but it's nice to have it so it's functioning properly.
Yeah. Which I will show you after tonight. Oh, this has to be a slack. Yeah, and that's where thread lock comes in. And we'll put the link in. For the Stevenson link. Right, you know what we want now?
Compressed air.
Compressed air. Right, so we put all the links together and we'll go to see if it runs. I'll give it a little bit of oil and a little bit of John's air, put it on the valve. Oh, I need to flick it.
That's a bit different, isn't it?
Well, this runs both ways. Stop it. And turn it now the other way. Right, how Stevenson link works is you've got two rods and this lever arm of you, whatever you want to call it. It engages or it moves the valve from one side to the other side, so it actually alters the valve timing via the two concentrics, so it'll actually turn clockwise or anti-clockwise. Now, as I say, there is a problem with it, but not we go to do anything about it. Is this bottom end, the concentrics has been keyed. It shouldn't be keyed. There should be two separate concentrics, like I said before, and actually held in on a grub screw, so you can fine tune both concentrics to get it what I call the sweet spot, the best optimal place for the valve to be open and closed at the right time on the forward stroke and on the reverse stroke.
Right, Bob, and now you won't take any money, right? Because mates don't charge you that. But I would really like you to have this. I've got three exactly the same, and I'd like you to have that.
Alright.
A token of my thanks and appreciation, because I would never get around to doing that, and I don't do phobia nuts anyway. So please take this home. I know you'll clean it up and make it look like a new one again, but that's for you, mate. There you go.
Oh, thank you very much, John.
Pleasure.
I've got two hands here. Right, thank you very, very much. I know my grandson will be enthralled to see that going around on the floor. Alright, lovely, John. Thank you.
You can leave a trail of burning meths across the carpet.
We
You'll
are.
also love it.
We don't have carpet, we have wooden floor.
Alright.
I'll set the floor fire.
But you need to get some of them little pellets instead of the meths.
Aye. I've got some of them actually.
I thought you might have the bastard will be running tonight.
I've even got the rubber bands. Thank you very much, John.
Pleasure,
I'll
mate.
just put it up there for the time being.
Pleasure, mate.
I'm still finished.